Hi guys, this is April Biss, your lab instructor, and I just wanted to do a quick little overview for your assignment 1. As we get started here, go ahead and open up Illustrator. Once you have Illustrator open for your assignment 2, you're going to choose File, New, and in here you have some pre-set up templates that you can choose from. Your specific assignment is actually going to be 11 inches wide. So you'll make sure that this is in inches. Just go ahead and look over here on the right of your preset panels. If it's not set in inches, go ahead and do the drop down menu and choose inches. Type in 11 by 8.5 wide. I found the template here, so I just clicked on this particular icon. This is your orientation. We want more landscape, so wider than tall. Artboard, we just need 1. Everything else should be set as I have set here, RGB mode, 300 pixels per inch, and click Create. When you get started, just kind of notice up on the upper right-hand corner, you have your workspace. Mine is set to Essentials. Now, Essentials is just basically what you would need essentially for, kind of specific, non-specific projects, I should say, in Illustrator. If you want to reset your, say you have a lot of panels on your workspace, all you would need to do is click on the Essentials and say Reset Essentials, and that's going to reorganize a lot of your panels. See how it just kind of plopped in there? You can rename this for your specific class. Just go to New Workspace, DGD101, click OK. So then any type of panel that you have up that you use very often, say like color panel or your layers panel that you want shown up here, it will always be up here and saved in how you have it in the order that you have on your workspace based on your preferences. These panels, you can pull them out, you can put them together. These are just movable panels. You can lock in as tabs if you want. You can pull them out. You can get rid of them. Just click on a little X. And every panel that you have, there's usually a little preset upper right-hand corner, these little lines here giving you more options. Just kind of be aware of that. Okay. Go ahead and save your assignment as the instructions of your assignment tells you to. You want to save it as an AI file initially. That's the working file that will allow you to edit it. Once you, go back, save it, close it, the AI file will allow you to edit it. Now for this assignment, you are creating your own neighborhood. It doesn't have to be necessarily your neighborhood either. If you are, living in the city, or if you have a townhouse and it's too complicated, simplify it. You can even do a made-up neighborhood if you want. And this should be from street view. So that means, you shouldn't see any type of top-down view like a map. So just kind of keep that in mind. Go ahead and use your specific tools in Illustrator, and in your toolbar you have your Shapes tool. Your Rectangle tool should be probably the default tool. If not, you might have another, say the Ellipse tool showing. But every single tool in here, if there's a little arrow in the bottom corner of your tool, just hold on to that selection and there should be more tools underneath. Go ahead and start dragging out some simple shapes. Say, if you wanted to start showing a landscape, I would say probably start with the background color before you even do the, the actual landscape part. So go ahead and take the rectangle tool, take it from one side to the next, align it around your artboard, and go ahead and bring up the color palette. And you can also bring up your color swatches. It should be under swatches here. And depending on the mood that you want to set, you can do, I've had students that do nighttime mood, so that would be more of a darker blue. I've had students do more sunset or sunrise, or just, plain sky. Choose the color and go ahead and click on that. As long as your fill in your toolbar is in the forefront, meaning it's closer to you, that's what you're filling this with. Your stroke is basically the outline. So you'll see here, if I go to stroke under my window option, and I make this a little bit thicker, so it's at 1 point now, you'll see the stroke get thicker. Now I don't really necessarily need a stroke here, so I'm just gonna go to hit none in my swatches, which looks like a little square with a red dash. Okay, so there's my background sky. You don't necessarily have to start layers in here if you don't want to, but if you want to, go to Window Layers, choose your background layer. You can go ahead and just double click on here, and we can name it Sky, and then start a new layer, which would be on top. And maybe this would be grass. That way you can lock this layer and you wouldn't have to worry about moving it while you're creating your other shapes. So I'm going to go here and create an oval shape with a grass color. No stroke, just a fill. A little simple trick: if you hold down the Option key with your selection, like your shape selection, if you hold down Option and drag, you're going to get another duplicate copy without going edit, copy paste, kind of a shortcut key, shortcut option, I should say. So there you go. There's some grass, there's background, sky, you got things going on. It's okay if it goes outside of your artboard. I can show you really quickly once we're done here how to crop it. But go ahead and start. If you have a photograph, you can take a picture of the front of your house. You can use that as a template, or you can get started very quickly by just creating houses here. Doesn't have to be more than one, but you can start creating those shapes. Just a little tip too, the star tool, if you select that and click one time on your artboard, you can actually control how many points that star has. So, if you go 3 points, it's going to be a rectangle, which is kind of nice, because now if you create a rectangle and then you flip it, it could be a roof. And I just flipped it by holding my cursor right over top, and you'll see like a little rotate option there. And then you can go ahead and maybe make it a different color. You can use the rectangle tool for windows and do like an outline, possibly. Try to play around with it and see what you got going on here and what it looks like. Bring up your stroke again if you want to play around with the thicknesses of it. There you go. And then you can also use either your pen tool or your line segment tool. Line segment might be a little easier for you right now. So the line segment is in your shapes panel, and it's almost like you click and drag to bring down this line. Click where you want it to start and drag. If you hold the shift key down, it'll snap into place. Oops. Click and drag. Once you get this window down, now you can select all of your elements. So you would have to select this line, hold the shift key down, select your horizontal and your vertical, and then your outside border. And you can do an option drag. Or you can go up to edit, copy, edit, paste. And it'll just do a duplicate. You just have to make sure you hold that shift key down so that you're selecting all of your elements in order for it to go together. Okay. So go ahead and get some details in there. And I just want to show you really quickly how to, once you're done and say you don't want to see these outside bleeded areas here, all you would need to do, and you don't necessarily have to do this if it's not bothering you, that's fine. Because once you save it as a, well, you're going to save it. I'm going to open this up as an AI file just to check how you created this. But if, say, this is bothering you, this is a kind of a little bit more of an advanced technique here. It's a clipping mask. So all you would have to do is create another square the size of your artboard over top of everything. I think you would have to unlock this layer though. Make sure it's the same size as your artboard. Oops. Here we go. Okay. With that selected, so it's selected, I can see that it's selected. Whatever's going on the outside of this shape, hold down the shift key and select all of those shapes. Just whatever is going on the outside. Then go up to Object, choose Clipping Mask, and Make. And that's going to clip your image, so whatever is on the outside of that shape, it's going to clip it. Whatever is on the outside will be clipped in. Now, you can undo this. All you have to do is go ahead and select that square again. Go up to Object, Clipping Mask. Yeah, right. Object, Clipping Mask, and Release. You have to make sure you choose the right, I chose the square behind it, Release. And that'll release it. Layers. Again, you know, this house is behind our landscape because we have it on that same layer. So go ahead and select all of your, I'm just going to do this really quickly here, your house details here. Delete this. There you go. Pull this down so I could actually select all of this. Got some layers going on here. Okay, so I have just the house selected. I want to put this on a new layer. So I would go to my layers panel. Let me get rid of these so you can see very simply what I'm doing here. And you'll notice that the lines on my house are red. And that's just telling me that this is my red layer. But I want to do a new layer because I want the house to be above my grass. So go ahead and select Create New Layer. We're going to name this, double click over the layer name. We'll name this Houses or House, and click Enter. Now it's still not on that layer yet. You have to actually, once it's selected and once you create your new layer, you have to move this little box up to that new layer. So you'll see it turns from red to green or whatever your layer color will be. And that's how you would differentiate what's on which layer. So this one's on a blue layer, so the line's blue. This one's on a green layer. This one's on a red layer. So you can see the one that is on the very top is going to show first, almost like a pile of papers that you have. It's going to be the first thing that you see above everything else. So, and what's nice about layers is you can actually hide stuff. If you hit this little eyeball, you can hide whatever's on that layer. You can lock it so you can't click on it. And you can also delete it if you need to. So that's kind of nice, and it allows you to control those options a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to create another chunked video here of a little bit more details that you can add in here, but we'll end this where we're at. Just make sure you're saving, file save, and hopefully this helps you.